نعم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Then inshallah ta'ala, today we're going to be combining the Facebook Live class and our today the Facebook Live class and our we're combining our Facebook Live class and our live class and our Zoom class, alhamdulillah. So we have three classes uh, going on at the same time, alhamdulillah. Also today in the Zoom meeting, I will start to utilize my Apple Pencil as well as some notes here, inshallah ta'ala. Is this open? Okay. All right. So now we're in chapter 12. Chapter 12 is Surah An-Naas. And there are some grammar related components that we'll continue to build on, as well as what we have for our translation, understanding the meanings of the Quran. Okay. Is there any questions from the chapter 11? Was pretty straightforward in that we had went over the third person, the second person, and the first person for he did, they did. We know these already. And then he is doing, they are doing to the end, right? So again, pointing to the right, we say huwa, he, hum, they, anta, you, antum, you all, ana, I, nahnu, we. And we have kitabuhu, his book, kitabuhum, their book, kitabuka, your book, kitabukum, your book, you all's book, kitabi, my book, kitabuna. Yes. Now we have with the verbs, we have fa'ala, he did, fa'alu, they did, fa'alta, you did, fa'altum, you all did, fa'altu, they did, fa'alna, we did. Then present tense, we have yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, taf'aluna, af'alu, naf'alu. Right? And then for the feminine, we have hiya, ha, kitabuha, and fa'alat, and taf'alu. Right? Taf'alu is also the same for masculine, for you, second person, and for her, third person. Same, taf'alu, right? If we also studied how to make a command, if we want someone to do, we say if'al, if'al. And if we don't want them to do, la taf'al, right? If it's a female, la taf'ali. If'ali, la taf'ali. Jade. Now, going on to the next lesson, we have Surah An-Naas, lesson number 12. So again, when it's a new word, I will put it in blue. When it's a word that we've already done, it will be black. We have kul. Kul is a command. Kul. A'udhu. We already studied a'udhu. And actually, we studied kul. So I put it in black. Kul, kul, to say, to say, right? A'udhu. A'udhu, we already studied. A'udhu, a'udhu. Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. When we know B and Rabb and Nas. The Nas we studied already as well when we studied Surah Al-Falaq and Nas. Okay? Arab bin Nas. We're not going to get into the grammar of anything here. Okay? Why is something to be with a dhamma? We're not getting into that now. Okay? Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Allah is saying, say, a'udhu, I seek refuge, I seek safety, be in or with Rabbi, the Lord, and Nas, the Lord of mankind. Let me see if I can record this. Okay. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Okay. So this is the first part here. Now scrolling down, Malikin nas, Ilahin nas, right? When we studied Surah Al-Fatiha. Malikin nas, Malik is what? The owner, right? King, owner. Malikin nas, Ilahin nas. Ilahin nas. Okay? Ilahin nas. And if you look at the script in the Arabic, it is with a small aleph here punctuated at the top. Okay. Ilahin nas. Okay. Ilahin nas. Remember, when you're looking at the grammar of the, or not the grammar, the style of writing of the Quran, we're looking for a specific type of writing. When we write these words normally, we may not write them the same exact way. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay. We may not write them the same exact way. But look, so far, actually, there's only one word that we did learn right now. It's the word ilah, which Allah, right, is the same root of. Okay, so I will put it in blue. Ilah, right? The translation of ilah is, yani, could be said as God, even though I'm not, yani, it's whatever's worshipped. Okay, the God, the thing you deify, ilah. Okay? The God of mankind is how they translate it. Okay, God. Remember, of is in parentheses because it is mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. We're not making this a grammar lesson. Our goal now is to pick the vocabulary and then move on into the grammar later, inshallah. So we have the first part. Any questions about that? Mm-hmm. Then we have some more words that are very familiar to us and a couple that are not. Okay. We have min, which means what? Min is from. Min sharri, what shar?
Hard.
Yeah, harm or evil, right? Min sharril waswasil. Here's a new word, okay? And putting it in the same exact way. Waswas. Min sharril waswas. Okay? The whisper. Okay? The whisper, right? El was. Waswas in nas. I'm sorry. Min what al khannas. I'm sorry. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Okay? So it's very important when you're looking here to notice that khannas is with the ha and it has a shadda on the noon. Okay. And there's some grammar points we can get in here, but we're not going to get to grammar points now. Okay. I want to make a point here on the five. All those that are participating on the live here. Anytime I put something that's blue, it's a new word from the lesson. Was and khannas. Okay. Al waswas is the whisperer. Okay. The whisperer. Al Khannas is the one who, yani, he flees after he comes. He flees after. Okay? The whisperer who flees after he does his whisper. Okay? That's how they have it translated. Whisperer, the fleeing one after he whispers. Okay? So we have two new words here. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Alladhi, this is a word we already knew. Alladhi, alladhi yuwaswisu, yuwaswisu, yuwaswisu. Fi sudur in nas. Fi, we know. What's fi?
In
Yes. Yep. In. Fi sudur. Fi sudur in nas. We know nas already. الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. Okay. So again, here we have the word yuwaswisu fi sudur الناس. Sudur, right? A sadr. Sadr is chest, singular. Sudur is plural, chest. Min al jinnati wan nas. Now we're ending here. And min al jinnati, jinn, the new word, from among the jinn, min al-jinnati wan-nas. You know the wa already. Wa, nas. Okay. Wan-nas. Okay. So this is the vocabulary, right? The words that I would focus on are al-waswas, al-khannas, yuwaswisu, sudur, al-jinnati. Okay. We know all the other words. We've already studied all the other words. And I want to bring that up to you now as a point. In, how are you going to learn a foreign language? How are you going to understand the Quran when you have a family, you have a job, you have all these other responsibilities, right? Just learning the Quran itself, just how to recite it, right? You have all these other things to do. How are you going to have time to learn the meanings of the Quran? This is more, right? And there's more things we need to know, by the way, right? Wallahi, I swear, it is easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you. But don't make it hard. It is easy. We already studied that before, a previous lesson, right? But, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ, right? We studied. Allah has said, we have definitely made it easy, the Quran, right? For remembrance and for reminding, okay? Now, when you have a lesson like this, when you have a lesson that has all of these points, okay? All of these points, okay? I'll use the red circle here, right? Look at these words here. How many words, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about to the end, okay? But no, right? Don't focus so much on these words that you already know. Focus less on those words, okay? Focus more on these words that you don't know, okay? Focus more on the words that you don't know. Focus on al-waswas. Focus on al-khannas. Focus on yuwaswisu. Focus on sudur. And look, there's a commonality between al-waswas and yuwaswisu, isn't there? Mm. Yeah, both have to do with whispering, right? Make that connection in your mind. Al-waswas, right? And it sounds like whispering, right? Right? Yeah, al-waswasa, right? Like the whispering sound, okay? Sudur, sadr, the chest, okay? Al-khannas, maybe not a word that you will have to know very many times besides, from what we study in the Quran, but of course this is the most important thing, so yes, you should memorize this word, right? And it's not hard, right? You have that. Then we have min al-jinnati, right? Make the connection, all right? Make the connection. If you make a connection in your mind, it's going to be easy for you to remember, okay? The jinn are the ones who yuwaswisu in the chest. They're whispering in the chest. Al-jinnati yuwaswisu, right? What is it? It's al-waswas. Al-waswas. That's what it is, right? Make that connection. Now, right now, ask yourself this question at this moment. What is al-waswas? Literally ask yourself. Okay, what is al-waswas?
What is al-waswas?
Okay, now answer.
The whisper.
Whisper. Okay. Now Yuwaswisu is what?
Mm, the one who
He's whispering,
was in
right? Who?
the Jannati,
Al jinn.
the
What nas, right? Okay. Where are they whispering?
Suduri.
Fi sudur nas, in the chest, right? Okay. Now, after this dars, ask yourself the same question again. It will stick. Without writing notes, these words would stick. Okay. Notes are important, but notes have to be written properly. Not everything on this board needs to be written. That's why I put some stuff in blue. These are the things I would write if I was to write anything. But I probably might even just write one thing for al waswas. Everything else related to it's all whispering because it sounds the same. We know jinn, right? I just have to know jinn and jinnat, jinnati. And sudur maybe is the one word that is like that in khannas, right? What is he doing? He's whispering, he's running. Khannas, right? He's fleeing. He's whispering, he's fleeing, he's running away, right? So remember that and write that down in your mind that way. Record it in your memory that way, and it will stick. Okay. You have to be resourceful with your memorization technique. You have to be resourceful with how you learn. If you're not resourceful with your learning, you're going to run into a lot of problems. Okay. Uh, yes. Number two is another ayah of Tawheed. Yes. Yes. MashaAllah, I didn't know that Jinnati referred to the agents of Shaitan, not to the actual Shaitan. Yani, the Shayateen. Yes, because the agents are, as Allah says, min al jinnati one nas, right? So the jinn, and there's one issue I would like to point out here, is that I'm not endorsing 100% this exact translation all the way. It's pretty accurate, but there's some points that he makes underneath that I would just erase in my mind, just me personally. Okay, let's just say here in the book here, and this is not to be mean to the author at all, but this is because the methodology of how we learn tafsir of Quran, there's a certain way we should learn the tafsir. I personally, in my mind, this is what I do. Okay, with all the blah 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 blah, class. I need to know the meanings of the words, and if I really want to get into tafsir, this is not the book I'm going to study, right? Um, and this is no disrespect to. There's many good points that the Sheikh makes in this. There are some statements that he makes inside of this book. I personally don't know if they are the correct statements to be made, and I'm not accusing him of anything. But I have not seen uh, a a source that would be yani, someone who I would take from that says something similar. So I just leave it. Okay. But I just want to give that disclaimer, right? May Allah reward him for the effort that he did. This is a tremendous effort. And the goal of it is to understand the meanings. And yes, a part of it here of what he's doing is a part that you should be doing independently, which is reflecting on the Quran, right? Reflecting on the Quran after he already, you know, has done some work in this area. Okay. Like Yani, he said, for example, okay, uh, the translation, and underneath he's like talk about the whisper, and these are making connections in your head, right? The more connections you make, the more it's going to stick. So the more of that you do on your own, make your own bullet points, but just be careful because you don't want to say something that is not correct. But there's some obvious things, whispering, it has a connection to you somewhere, right? Maybe has a visualization that you're seeing for this whole thing, right? And going through it in that way. Uh, I think it's a lot safer way to do it, and that way you can protect your uh, because I'm not saying we're going to this book for tafsir. We're going here to learn the meanings of many of the words of the Quran so that we can begin to read the Quran with better understanding and increase our vocabulary and use it as a basis for how we learn the Arabic language. Right? And I think it's the most successful way because we interact with the Quran and Salah more than we interact with anything else. Right? All right. So now, grammar-wise, these grammar points are pretty important. Okay. Now, it's pretty easy. What he's doing is he's going to connect the scale that we've been learning. Fa'ala, yaf'alu. He's going to, and there's fa'ala, yaf'alu, fa'ala, yaf'ulu. There's all, okay, there's many different ways to say the scale. Right? But he's going to start to go into how to plug the letters in. And I already started to show you guys how to do this in previous class. So this is almost going to be a review for you guys. That's why I introduced it twice already and did the exercise with you guys. And I told you guys to plug your ears if you want to, because I knew you were going to come across it, Michelle. Okay. So he does this uh, with the words fataha and with the word ja'ala. Okay. He does this with the word fataha. 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 Now, fataha. Now, there's something that's very important here for you to understand, and that is that the letters, remember, and if it's a principle, I'm going to put the principle in green, and I'll do it even live here. So, okay, so it's going to be in green because it's a principle. So the word is in blue because it's a new word. It's fa, fa, ha. Okay. Now, the fa and fataha should be the fa of the word, of the fi'l. It's the fa of it, okay? The ta is the ain, and the ha is the lam, because remember, we're pointing to the origin of the words being fa'ala, fa'ala, okay? So now I'm going to put this on the board here. The fa of the word fataha is the fa of the fi'l. And the ta of the word fataha is the ain of the word. And the ha of the word fataha is the lam of the word. Fa'ala. So because it's on a scale, right? I can replace from the original origin, the original origin of that is fa'ala. So now I can replace this with other letters to make words, meaning he did something. This means he did. Fa'ala means he did. Fataha means he opened. Okay? On the same scale, daraba, he hit. Daraba. Okay? So in the word daraba, the fa of daraba is a dog. The ain of daraba is the ra of the word. And the lam of the word daraba is the fa. Fa, right? Boom. Is this easy? Okay. Fataha, daraba, razaqa. Okay. Many words. Many words. I mean, so many words. I can keep saying words. I can just keep on saying words if I want to. Okay. Malaka. So many words. I just too many words. It will just keep going. This is like the most popular scale for words. The past tense is a 3-word root, and from it we can make many words. And we're about to make words from the word fataha. Okay? Remember, the fa of fataha is a fa. The ayn of the fa of fataha is a ta. And the lam of fataha is a ha. Okay? All right. I need to know that because once I know what they do with the fa and the ta and the ayn and all those other things, it will help me. Okay. Okay. The book. All right. Remember all the past tense words that we just did the scale for, okay? Same form, okay? Fataha, fatahu, fatahta, fatahtum, fatahtu, fatahna, fatahat, yaftahu, yaftahuna, taftahu, taftahuna, aftahu, naftahu, taftahu. خلاص. افتح, command. افتح. لا تفتح. Don't open. Right? Open. افتح. Don't open. لا تفتح. Okay? All right. Remember. And here's the this for this week. Do this as many times as you can because this is going to be your life as a student. This will be your life. For if you do this from now, trust me, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it. Just keep doing this. Fataha, fatahu, fatahta, fatahtu. I'm sorry, fatahtum, fatahtu, fatahna. All past tense. Fatahat, or here. Fatahat. Now, I'm going to make it present tense. Yaftahu. Yaftahu. Yaftahuna. Taftahu. Make it bigger. This looks like تفتح تفتحون تفتح نفتح Iftah, the command. Oh, and we have the female, leftahu, taftahu, right? Which is the same exact word. Okay? It is the same exact word for you, masculine, and she, same. I'll just keep it. Okay? Let's open it. Oh, I did not do it. I'm going to turn the screen back. Yeah, here it goes. Sorry, guys. It went offline for a second. I'll keep my eye on that. Okay. Now you have iftah, iftah for the sukoon. So you know it's a command. Okay? And la taftah. Okay? And they're going to give you the plural as well. Iftah and iftahu. Right? This is the two command. Okay? Now the prohibition, la taftah. La taftah. Sukoon. And la taftahu. Okay? And la taftahu. I keep on trying to make sure this stays refreshed. Okay? Command and prohibition. Here. Command. Okay? Now, and they have written in here the doer of the action, the fa'il, the doer, fa'il, the fatih is the doer, the opener. Okay? the fatih, the fatihun. And this is an ism now. All of these are all af'al. These are all what they call verbs. Right? We said we don't like the word verb, but it's not a grammar lesson, so it's the doer of the action. Okay. This is the ism, the idea, the doer, like the noun, okay, of the doer. Okay. And the thing it was done to is the meftur. What was opened is called the meftur. Meftur. Mefturun. Mefturun. And then the idea of opening is called fat, like Fathul Mecca. Fathul Mecca. Fat, Fathul, Fathul Mecca, right? Fathul Mecca is when we opened up Mecca. Alhamdulillah. Okay. This is the scale. Everything for the word Fataha. Okay. After that, he shows you how to do this with Doraba. With the word Doraba. I hope I'm still with Facebook. Okay? With Ja'ala. Okay? Guys, I'm sorry, my battery's about to die. We're gonna end the class so that I can, but that's the end of the lesson. Okay? The lesson from here goes on to the homework, which I will post. Okay, then we get to Surah Al-Kafirun in the next lesson, inshallah. Let me save this now that I can share. I can save the recording. And I tried to really charge my battery before the class. I'll try to make sure that I have it charged better for the next dars, inshallah. I'm going to stop the screen share. And now, inshallah, we're going to end the class, inshallah. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khair. Anything I said is correct is from Allah and His Messenger. Anything I said is not correct is from myself or Shaitan. Allah's Messenger, free from it. Your homework I'm going to post. And if you guys have questions, you can ask me. Send into the WhatsApp group. You can send me on Facebook. You can send me my personal message, inshallah. Jazakallah.